What's up, guys? Welcome back to Southern Rebels. In this video, it's going to be about just me talking about myself and things that happened to me in my life, because I ain't made a video like this yet, and I'm sure y'all been expecting one. I'll be talking about 5 near-death experiences that happened in my life. Starting off with number 5. A couple years ago, I had an old 4-wheeler. It was a 98 model Kawasaki Bayou 300. There's no gravel road that runs onto the road that I live on, about 2.5 miles down that way, and I was coming out of it, and my grandpa was coming up the hill right by there, and I was going fast, wide open, hammer all the way down. I didn't even look, nothing. Went straight out and hit my grandpa head on, and flipped it and went down the side of his truck, and I woke up on the ground seeing 3 of everything. I remember seeing my grandpa come around the front of the truck and pick me up and put me in the back seat, and then I blacked out. When I came back to, was on the road, and both of my brothers were in the truck with me and my grandpa, and I was on the back seat, and then my head was bleeding, constantly gushing out blood. That's what my brother told me. And then I blacked out again, and I woke back up, and we got to the hospital at the local town, and then I seen the nurses bringing me into the hospital on their stretcher, and then I blacked out again and woke back up in a helicopter, and they were airlifting me to New Orleans because they had better surgeons at a hospital down there. A scar on my head right here. It goes from right here all the way back to there, and then I got one on my eye and one on my leg. I'll put a picture in the video of me after I'd come home and had the stitches on my head and my eye. Moving on to number 4. A couple of months ago, it was back in the summertime, I went fishing one morning, and I got to the pond on my 4-wheeler and was going through the trail to go get in my boat. Felt good, didn't have a care in the world, you know. If you're a southern boy and you like fishing, then you know what I mean. But there's an old log that fell across the trail that I took to get to my pond, and as soon as I stepped over that log, I just knew something was up. I felt my hair on the back of my head and neck stand up, and I looked down there by my foot, and I come this close to stepping on the head of a water moccasin, and his about this freaking big around, and I guarantee you if I'd have stepped on his head, that little sucker would have bit me. I'd have been gone. I'd have been dead, or had to get my leg cut off or something stupid like that. Number 3. One time when I was about 9 years old, me and my mom, we went shopping, and we was coming out of this store, and I was little, I didn't think to look or nothing. I ran straight out across the parking lot, and this car was speeding by, and when that car stopped and I stopped, I had my hands on the front of that car, and it's about this close to my face. My mom started screaming and yelling, started yelling at me, yelling at that driver. It was all a big mess. I was confused. The driver was scared half to death. We got in the car and went on our way home, and Mom yelled at me on the way home, just pretty much for the whole ride. And when I got home, she grounded me. I couldn't do nothing, couldn't play no games, ride a 4-wheeler or nothing like that. And I really didn't understand why at the time. I told her that the driver shouldn't have been speeding through the parking lot and should have watched where she was going, and she told me that I shouldn't have ran out there, that I should have watched where I was going. So I didn't even really pay no attention to it. I just went on about it and got it over with. There's many other times that I could have got ran over, killed or something like that, but this is probably the most closest I've come to death. I think that car woman said she was going about 40 miles an hour or something like that. Yeah, that definitely would have killed me. I was just a little old bitty kid. Coming on to number 2. Last winter I went hunting one time, and it done got about 12 o'clock. I'd been in the stand since about 6, and right when I went to leave out of my stand, I took the first step down the ladder and my foot slipped. and I fell about 10 foot, hit the ground, and it knocked the wind out of me. And I was sitting there trying to get the wind back. My gun was still up in the tree stand, so I had to go back up there and get it. And I laid on the ground for about 5 minutes, just sitting there trying to get my breath back. And finally, I got my breath back. I went up and got my gun and went and got on my four-wheeler and left. And finally, number one, 5 years ago, me and my family went on a vacation to Tennessee, and we stayed in this big old condo overlooking the mountains. It was real pretty, and they had a big old swimming pool there. And we went down to the swimming pool, me and my brother did, and my grandmother come with us. And then I got to swimming. I'd jump in the deep end and swim all the way about 24 feet and to the other side, get out and do it again. And I was out there swimming for about an hour, and I got tired, and I jumped in that deep end again, and I couldn't get out. I started struggling and everything. My grandma started yelling. My brother had he was about halfway to the condo, well, the building, going back inside, and she started screaming, and he come running back, jumped in the water, grabbed me, pulled me out, and I got in trouble for going in the deep end, you know, like it's such a bad thing. A kid can't even have fun. But I got in trouble and I couldn't go swimming for the rest of the trip, and that was only the second day of a week and a half, so I got pretty screwed over on that one. Well guys, I guess that's it for this video. If you liked today's video, then leave it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. If you want to see more videos like this or a Q&A video, then drop it in the comments below and I'll look into it, see what I can do. Thanks for watching. See you next time on Southern Rebels.